All right, so to answer your question about what I see my role, I mean, I haven't had, like I said, a lot of contact with the MBSA because their website is down and I know all these other external factors. But so I just know about what they do through what Alex has said and through my own research about them on other ways. But I think, you know, it's not, you know, there's not too many schools on the MBSA, so every voice counts on the MBSA. And I think I would do a good job of being on the MBSA. I'm not going to say I'm going to sit here and do a bad job of the MBSA. We bill ourselves as the premier undergraduate institution, not only in New Brunswick, but in Canada. And therefore, our voice holds a lot of pull on a board like that. But I would have to go there and find out what sort of time commitments were needed for me to say whether I was going to run for an executive position or not.
Got a response? Okay.
I have two questions. One for Alex. You spent a lot of time defending your campaign, defending your position as VP External Affairs this year in your campaign movement, and you didn't talk too much about what are your plans for next year. How is your platform different than last year's? What are you going to bring new that's refreshing to the SAC or to your position specifically? And for Mark, I would like to know, I would like you to clarify the roles and responsibilities of VP External and how you can better your representation as VP External Affairs than Alex.
Oh, I guess I'm first now. Right?
Yeah.
Sorry. So the roles and responsibilities of VP External. VP External represents students in every issue outside of the university campus. So that's dealing with every scale from the municipal government and the town to the provincial government and the MBSA to the federal lobbying. That is a mandate of the VP External. That's going to happen whether or not we're joined CASA or not. Doesn't mean I still can't talk to CASA. Doesn't mean we still can't engage in federal lobbying. In order to what my biggest campaign point is the lack. Is increasing the municipal lobbying and that getting students more interested in what's happening in this town, getting them involved not only in participating in town events, but organizing those events and providing input on how this town is growing, because it is growing. There's new commercial areas, there's a new strategic growth plan. Students need to be involved in talking to the town about what that is.
This is the hard answer. What refreshing things are you going to bring? And that's a big part of my campaign is lobbying government is not going to, you don't want to dramatically change that from year to year. You want to keep some sort of consistency. They like talking to people they recognize and they've gotten to know that they're comfortable with. So it is about like staying that line and continue with a lot of the things I was advocating for last year. As far as the new things that will be happening, this year when we go through the budget process, I will be making sure there is a budget line in there for the a new housing site, which wasn't included in the last website, but that was something that was before I came into an executive role that was decided. So that is one new thing that we would have if I were elected is, and if you want to ask me more about that housing website, I'd love to explain exactly what would be in it.
Kind of response?
Yeah, I guess I would respond by saying, as I've said before, I appreciate what Alex has done on the provincial level for lobbying. I'm not too aware of what's happening personally with his connections in the MBSA and the provincial government. That's him. You know, I don't go to these MBSA meetings because I'm not the VP External. You know what I mean? But I am campaigning on reforming those connections with the town, the place where we all live. I mean, the hard truth of it is, I mean, things like student loans, as I said in my speech, are important, but they don't affect everyone. I don't have a student loan. Debt cap reduction doesn't affect me because I don't live in New Brunswick. I'm from Vancouver. And so, but in Sackville, that affects all of us because we all live here. And so that's what I'd like to concentrate on.
All right, and as far as building those connections in the town, that's something that actually I feel like I've done a really great job with. You know, there are particular counselors who in the past had been a little more aggressive to students. And I'll give Mike a lot of credit because he's been really interested in Mike Currier, our old president. Like him and I were like really great with going to the town council meetings and talking to them about some of the student issues. And I think they really appreciated that. And we started building those good relationships, and not just with the town councilors and the mayor, because more or less they're not too aggressive towards us. You want to make sure you're close with a lot of the people who actually do the work of the town, the people in the civil service, like the town clerk, like the department heads within the town and beyond the town, with things like Renaissance Sackville, with Acorn, with those sorts of non-profits in the community.
Yeah, my question kind of actually follows what I was just talking about in terms of the image of the SAC. People are talking a lot about how the SAC doesn't have much of an image anymore this year. And we've seen a lot of, I think, problems with student leaders across Canada, such as the U of Ottawa president which got arrested. But I'm wondering, how do you see the role in terms of, because you have to apply to so many different levels of people, whether it's the student council, the federal, the SAC, the students' administration. How do you see the external role as being one of the main people that makes the image of the SAC? And how would you respond to that if you were elected?
You first.
It's Alex? Or
Yeah.
you just finished, right? Yeah.
All right. As far as the spokesperson for the SAC, and we have had this sort of like weird image thing, and part of that was because that we were without a full-time president for a lot of the year, so it was hard for all of the executive to get in these roles under the one person. As much as Mike tried to do in the interim months when he was the president there, he wasn't able to do it full-time, and we understood that, and there was that image problem. As far as being the I guess the advocate outside of the SAC, I feel like I've been working on that, and I'm having I correspond with people within the Department of Post-Secondary Education, even going to these CASA conference. Trevi and I went to an ACOA conference, and I made sure that I was representing Mount Allison students when I went up, for example, at the COA conference and talked about the value of education for Education State rather than just about making money. So I feel like I'm off.
I definitely appreciate your question because, I mean, as far as I've seen all year, the person who talks the most with outside people, besides the VP External, is the president. So we do play a very large role in what the SAC's image is. And again, I just want to stress that thing about just that point about partnerships. It's about building those partnerships. And with all due respect to my opponent, he is publicly called landlord in this town scum, and that's just not conducive to working in a positive way to build a better community.
And
all right, I guess I have to respond to the calling of landlord scum. And actually, Julie, that was something that you and I discussed when I was putting that into the argosy. And you know what, that was the attention grabber. And you know what, first and foremost, I'm out there to help out students. And I need to draw attention for students that, landlords aren't your best friend. They're not out for your best interest. They're out there to make money, plain and simple. And wanted students to be always wary in their relationship with their landlord, in that, they're making money off of you, so you have to be very critical and keep aware of any opportunities they would take to take advantage of students.
Can I do a response?
So my response to that would be, it just creates again, the divide between the two communities. We don't want to separate ourselves from this town. We live here, and we want to be part of it and an integrated part of it. And it's about building those partnerships. I mean, when I met with the mayor, she says, she said to me that she didn't hear she hasn't heard, she would like more input from the SAC about what those problems were. I very much appreciate what Alex did in first term with the rentals bin coming. That was a great thing, and I'd really like to see that continue, and I personally worked really well for me. I converted a landlord myself. But to say those kind of things publicly doesn't help us in the future.
Okay. If you have a question, can you raise your hand? Okay, I'm going to do the cutoff after these hands. So they'll just go left to right.